Be prepared. Tomorrow, January 28th, something is about to crack wide open. The pressure you've been feeling for the past week, that restless electric tension coursing through your veins, it wasn't random. It was build-up. And tomorrow, it finally breaks. At 7:30 at night, Mars, the planet of raw action and primal will, forms a perfect 60-degree angle with black moon Lilith, the cosmic force of untamed truth and forbidden desire. This isn't just another planetary aspect. This is a cosmic kiss between the rebel and the outcast, between strategy and instinct, between what you've been told to want and what you actually crave. And if you've been feeling like something inside you is clawing to get out, like there's a version of yourself that's been caged for far too long, keep watching. Because there's one specific reason why this restlessness has been building to an unbearable peak, and I'll explain exactly what's happening to you later in this video. But first, you need to understand what's been happening behind the scenes, because tomorrow isn't just a release, it's the final act of a cosmic pressure cooker that's been intensifying for over a week. Most people have no idea they're standing in the middle of an astrological war zone right now, but you've felt it. You've sensed something shifting, something building, something about to explode. And here's what nobody's telling you. The universe has been systematically removing your safety nets one by one, pushing you toward a choice you can no longer avoid. Tomorrow, that choice becomes crystal clear. The question is, will you have the courage to take it? The pressure has been building since last week. Let's rewind for a second. This didn't start tomorrow. It started back on January 18th with the new moon in Capricorn, the final degrees of the sea goat, heavy with unfinished business and karmic weight. That lunation set the stage, planting a seed of discomfort that's been growing ever since. Then the planets started migrating. One by one, they abandoned the solid ground of Capricorn and launched themselves into the electric uncertainty of Aquarius. The Sun crossed over on January 20th. Mercury followed. Venus joined the party. And by January 23rd, Mars, the warrior, the severer, the one who cuts ties, entered Aquarius too. Suddenly, the energy completely shifted. The play-by-the-rules mentality dissolved. The build slowly and responsibly approach felt suffocating. Everything that used to feel like structure started feeling like a cage. And you felt it, haven't you? That growing impatience, that mounting frustration with anything that feels restrictive, outdated, or inauthentic. Maybe you've been snapping at people more. Maybe you've been questioning commitments that once felt solid. Maybe you've been fantasizing about walking away from things you swore you'd never leave. That's not weakness, that's not instability, that's the Aquarian liberation beginning to take hold, and it's about to reach its breaking point. Because while all of this was happening, something even more intense was brewing in the background. January 26th, Neptune enters Aries, the spiritual awakening. On January 26th, something generational occurred. Neptune, the planet of dreams, spirituality, and collective consciousness, left Pisces after 14 years and entered Aries. This happens once every 165 years, once in a lifetime. And what does this mean? It means the age of passive spirituality is over. The era of going with the flow and dissolving into the collective unconscious has ended. We are now entering a time of spiritual individualism, where your personal truth, your unique vision, your individual awakening becomes the priority. This isn't about blending in anymore. This isn't about sacrificing yourself for the greater good. Neptune in Aries says your soul has a mission and you need to embody it now. No more waiting, no more preparing, no more someday when I'm ready. The spiritual awakening is no longer a gentle whisper, it's a battle cry, and this energy set the perfect stage for what happened next. January 27th, Mars meets Pluto, the atomic blast. And then came yesterday, January 27th, the day Mars collided with Pluto at 03°34Z Aquarius. If you thought the pressure was intense before, yesterday it reached nuclear levels. Mars conjunct Pluto is one of the most potent aspects in astrology. It's the meeting of personal will and evolutionary force, ego drive and soul transformation, the desire to act and the need to completely die and be reborn. When these two titans collide in Aquarius, the sign of revolution, innovation and breaking free from the system, the result is an ideological supernova. You probably felt it, a moment of intense confrontation, maybe with someone else, maybe with yourself, a moment where you had to face the raw truth about your power, your desires, your survival instincts, a moment where everything suppressed came roaring to the surface. For some, it manifested as rage, a sudden, overwhelming anger at being controlled, limited, or told what to do. For others, it was a moment of terrifying clarity, seeing exactly what needs to end, even if you don't feel ready. And for some, it was pure exhaustion, the weight of fighting against your own truth finally becoming too heavy to carry. This was the dark night of the soul. This was the do or die moment. This was the snapping of the tether, and it was all preparation for tomorrow, because what happens on January 28th is the release of everything that just exploded. Tomorrow, Mars kisses Lilith. Your desires get loud. Remember when I said there's a specific reason why you've been feeling restless, like something's clawing to get out? This is it. Tomorrow, Mars, fresh from its nuclear fusion with Pluto, forms a perfect sextile to Black Moon Lilith in Sagittarius. Now let's talk about what this actually means. Lilith isn't a planet. She's a mathematical point, the lunar apogee, representing the shadow feminine, the exiled, the repressed, the parts of you that society told you to hide. She's the wild woman, the heretic, the truth-teller who got burned at the stake for refusing to bow. And when Mars in Aquarius, intellectual, strategic, revolutionary, makes contact with Lilith in Sagittarius, philosophical, adventurous, unapologetically free, something extraordinary happens. The sextile creates an opportunity, an open door, an invitation to align your actions with your deepest, most authentic instincts. But here's what makes this different from any other sextile. Air feeds fire. Aquarius is air. Sagittarius is fire. This creates a self-sustaining combustion engine. The more you think about your freedom, the more you feel compelled to pursue it. The more you strategize your escape, the more your primal truth demands to be spoken. This isn't a gentle nudge. This is your soul screaming, enough. No more hiding, no more performing, no more shrinking yourself to fit into spaces that were never meant for you. The desires you've been suppressing, the ones you were told were too wild, too selfish, too dangerous, they're about to get loud, and trying to silence them tomorrow will be like trying to stop a wildfire with a garden hose. It's not happening. If you're one of these three signs, everything changes tomorrow. While this energy affects everyone, there are three zodiac signs standing at the epicenter of this liberation. If you're one of these signs, particularly your rising sign, tomorrow could be the day your entire life trajectory shifts. Aquarius, the sovereign rebirth. Aquarius, this is your moment. You are the host of this entire cosmic event. The Sun, Mercury, Venus, Mars, and Pluto are all in your sign right now. Your first house, the house of identity, self, physical body, is completely activated. For weeks, you've been in a pressure cooker. The Mars-Pluto conjunction yesterday forced you to confront who you really are versus who you've been performing as. And tomorrow, as Mars sextiles Lilith in your 11th house of community and future vision, you're breaking free from the expectation to be the detached humanitarian who sacrifices personal desires for the collective good. The liberation. You're realizing that to truly help the world, you must first liberate yourself from it. You're allowed to be selfish. You're allowed to want things. You're allowed to be passionate, messy, and unapologetically you. Manifestation. Expect sudden departures from social groups that no longer align, radical changes to your appearance or presentation, launching a controversial project that reflects your true vision, not the watered-down version you thought people wanted. Sagittarius, the wild truth unleashed. Sagittarius, Lilith is sitting directly on your ascendant. You are literally becoming the wild woman, the untamed truth. Your body, your presence, your entire vibe is shifting into something raw and unfiltered. The pressure. You've been carrying the burden of being the wise guru, the one who always has to be positive, philosophical, and inspiring. But tomorrow, Mars in your third house of communication creates a direct line from your mind to your primal truth. The liberation, the filter is coming off. You're going to speak a truth so raw, so undeniable that it will sever cords with anyone who can't handle it. This isn't about being cruel, it's about being real. You're done performing optimism. You're done spiritual bypassing. You're done pretending. Manifestation, unexpected travel plans that feel urgent and non-negotiable, walking away from educational institutions or religious structures that demand conformity, saying something publicly that you've been too afraid to voice and not caring who judges you for it. Aries, the mission awakens. Aries, you are the direct beneficiary of Mars' power. He's your ruling planet, and with Neptune just entering your sign 2 days ago, you're being crowned as the new spiritual warrior of the zodiac. The pressure, the Capricorn energy in your 10th house of career has felt like a concrete ceiling. You've been fighting for scraps, playing by rules that don't serve you, submitting to authorities who don't deserve your loyalty. The liberation, Mars in your 11th house sextiling Lilith in your 9th house, is giving you permission to stop fighting for small goals and start fighting for a mission. Not a job, not a promotion, a calling, a vision, a purpose that feels dangerous but alive. Manifestation, abruptly quitting corporate structures to pursue something that feels spiritually aligned but financially risky. Gambling everything on a vision only you can see. Feeling an overwhelming sense that you're being guided by something bigger than yourself, and finally trusting it. What your body will feel tomorrow, physical signs. This isn't just energetic or spiritual, you're going to feel this in your body. Mars rules the physical form, our vitality, our blood, our muscle. Lilith rules the primal, instinctual, somatic knowing. When they connect, your body becomes the receiver. You might wake up tomorrow feeling wired, like you've had too much caffeine even if you haven't touched any. Your heart rate might be elevated. Your skin might feel more sensitive. You might have an overwhelming urge to move, to run, to dance, to release the electric charge building up in your nervous system. Some people will feel it as heat, a warmth spreading through the chest or solar plexus, the fire of desire finally being acknowledged. Others will feel restless, unable to sit still, pacing without knowing why. And some will experience it as a sudden clarity in the gut, that deep, undeniable knowing that says, this is what I need to do. Pay attention to these physical signals. Your body is smarter than your mind. It knows what's true before your brain can rationalize it. If your body is telling you to move, move. If it's telling you to speak, speak. If it's telling you to leave, leave. Don't ignore these impulses tomorrow. They're not random. They're your soul using your body as a megaphone. The one mistake most people will make tomorrow. Here's where people mess this up. They feel the energy, they sense the liberation available to them, and then they freeze. They overthink it. They rationalize it away. They convince themselves they're not ready, or it's not the right time, or I need to be more responsible. And by doing that, they miss the portal. Because here's the truth about sextiles. They're opportunities, not guarantees. Unlike a trine which flows effortlessly whether you participate or not, a sextile requires you to choose. It's an open door, but you have to walk through it. And if you hesitate too long, if you let fear convince you to stay in the familiar cage, the door closes. Tomorrow, the universe is handing you a greased exit from whatever's been imprisoning you. The hinges are oiled, the lock is broken. All you have to do is push. But if you stand there analyzing whether you should push, if you wait for permission, if you need 3 more signs before you trust yourself, you'll still be standing in the same cell when the energy passes. The people who transform tomorrow will be the ones who feel the pull and move, the ones who trust the knowing in their body more than the fear in their mind. the ones who choose wild authenticity over safe performance. Which one will you be? After tomorrow, the new timeline begins. And here's what most people don't understand. Tomorrow isn't just a day, it's a threshold, the version of you that exists before January 28th and the version that exists after won't be the same. Some of you will wake up on January 29th feeling lighter than you have in years, like a weight you didn't even know you were carrying has been lifted. Old fears that used to control you won't have the same grip. Patterns that felt permanent will suddenly feel optional. Others will notice it in their external reality. Opportunities that align with your true path will start appearing. People who match your new frequency will be drawn to you. Doors that were previously locked will swing open as if they were waiting for you to finally become who you needed to be to walk through them. But there will also be losses. Not everyone will make this journey with you. Some relationships will naturally fall away, not through drama or confrontation, but through a quiet recognition that you're moving in different directions now. Some environments will start to feel suffocating and you'll simply stop showing up. This is part of the liberation. You're not being punished, you're being refined. The universe is clearing out everything that doesn't match the frequency of your authentic truth. And while it might feel uncomfortable, it's necessary. Because the version of you that's emerging on the other side of tomorrow, the one who finally stopped performing, stopped hiding, stopped shrinking, that version deserves a life that reflects their wholeness. And to create that life, you first have to let go of the one built for the person you used to be. The ritual for tomorrow, how to harness this energy. If you want to consciously work with this energy tomorrow, here's what I recommend. You don't need fancy tools or complicated ceremonies. This is about alignment, not performance. Timing, ideally around 7:30 at night or any time in the evening when the energy peaks. Preparation. Before you begin, clear your space. Use sound, a bell, your voice, clapping, to break up stagnant energy. Visualize the room filling with cool, electric Aquarian wind. The practice. Light a red or black candle, fire element for Sagittarius and Mars. As you light it, say, I invoke the fire of my own truth. Take a piece of paper and write down one specific chain, a limiting belief, a toxic situation, a societal expectation that you're ready to sever. Be specific. Not, I want to be free, but I release the belief that I have to sacrifice my desires to be good. Read it aloud, then say, I honor what this taught me, but I reject the cage. By the power of Mars and Lilith, I sever this cord. Burn the paper in the candle flame. Watch it turn to ash. As it does, visualize the Mars-Pluto explosion destroying its hold on you completely. Once it's ash, blow it into the air or out a window, symbolizing the release back to the universe. Final step. Sit in silence for a few minutes. Place your hand on your heart. Ask yourself, what does my liberated self want to do first? Listen for the answer. It might not be logical. It might not make sense. But if it comes from your body, from your gut, from that primal knowing, trust it. That's your marching orders. That's the first step of your new timeline. This is your moment. Don't let it pass. The cosmic stage has been set, the pressure has built, the explosion has occurred, and tomorrow the pathway to freedom is illuminated more clearly than it has been in years, maybe in your entire life. But you have to choose it, you have to claim it, you have to be willing to walk through the discomfort of liberation, knowing that on the other side is a version of yourself that's been waiting for this moment. Your deepest desires are about to get loud. The question is, are you ready to stop silencing them? Are you ready to stop performing for people who don't even know the real you? Are you ready to break free from the chains you've been carrying, some imposed by others, some you built yourself? Because tomorrow, Mars kisses Lilith, and that kiss is an invitation to remember who you were before the world told you who to be, an invitation to speak the truths that have been clawing at your throat, an invitation to choose the wild, authentic, unapologetic life that's been calling your name. The portal is open. The door is unlocked. The universe is holding space for your liberation. All you have to do is take the first step. If you're still watching, I'd like to thank you for your attention. If you enjoyed the content and want to see more, please consider clicking the subscribe button. Your support is very appreciated. Feel free to share your experiences or thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, take care and subscribe for more insightful content.